On this episode of the Star Trek Universe podcast, we are not talking about just one episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. We are talking about 3. Terminal Provocations, Much Ado About Boimler, and Veritas. Right after these commercials, or a commercial that we have no control over.
It's a veritable cornucopia of episodes. Welcome to the Star Trek Universe podcast. My name is Matthew Carroll.
I am David C. Robertson.
Dave.
Oh, buddy.
It feels good to slide back into the warm waters of the jacuzzi that is Star Trek Universe podcast.
I don't want to ever hear you talk about sliding into anything.
But don't you, though?
No.
All right, I'm going to slip out of some things and slide into some things.
No.
Let's talk about these episodes, man. I'm sorry. I apologize to the listeners. I apologize to you. I went on vacation last week, and because of preparation for vacation, just didn't get around to doing the previous weeks, and then vacation week, and now we're this week. And so because of that, we're going to cram these 3 in, and I'm going to barely remember them. Let's do it.
Sliding, slipping, cramming. You got to stop, man.
Slip sliding away, buddy. Slip sliding away. Terminal Provocations. What happened in Terminal? What's that one about?
The lovable but awkward Ensign Fletcher makes work difficult for Mariner and Boimler. Rutherford introduces Tendi to a holodeck training program he created.
Oh, yeah, this was the Badgie episode.
Badgie
was wonderful.
I loved Badgie. I hated Fletcher. I get the feeling I was meant to.
Yeah. I think that Fletcher was... hatred for Fletcher was very welcome, I think. But man, yeah, we talked about, I think, in the last episode, how they'd kind of... they've started to creep into the territory of having some sort of, like, interesting sort of stuff, and the interesting but irreverent, the Rick and Morty thing that we like, where it's like they still try to delve into interesting ideas, and the Badgie idea was really great. a rogue Clippy like program that hates you because you punished it. I mean, this is and there's like the weird, the thing that got me, the thing that made me laugh so hard and like really made the episode for me was the idea that there's like this father-son relationship that both Badgie and Rutherford felt.
Yep.
And when Badgie's lying on the ground dying and his father is holding him in his arms, but he keeps saying all the things he's going to do to him, all the violent things he's going to do to him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was a highlight of this show for me so far, like of Lower Decks in general.
I think there were a few really fun lines that I really enjoyed. I really liked the bit where they were like, if we fire on them, it's an act of war. And then Shax is like, I advise we fire on them.
That's just always Jax. That's his entire character. Let's start a war. Pretty great.
Yeah, please let me target their engines. I've been really, really good this month.
I haven't targeted any engines yet this month. Come on. It's really good. It's really fun. And that whole, we talked about it a couple episodes ago, how we hope that they do more of this, seeing what the actual crew is doing. And this was another example of that. Like a lot of this episode, there were really 3 plots. Instead of having 2 Lower Decks plots, there were the 2 Lower Decks plots, and a significant portion of the episode was dedicated to this plot with the bridge crew.
Right.
I'm here for that.
With the Drukmani.
And
the Drukmani plot felt very much like a classic TNG comedy bit. Like some like thing where they would have like the bridge crew deals with some asshole alien who just won't help them out.
Right. It also felt like a TNG like main plot too. Like some they want to stop a war, but this guy's just dead set on doing the thing because his culture is different enough. His culture is wrong, basically, which is like a common thing in TNG or any of those episodes. That era of Star Trek where it's all multicultural, but then sometimes cultures are just really, really misguided. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of seemed like what this was.
Yeah, I love the bit where he's just like the Drukmani captain is just like throwing trash into the ship. He's like, I thought you said this trash wasn't worth fighting for. They're like, we're not fighting. Avoiding damage is fighting.
What? Avoiding damage is fighting is not even a thing. But of course, the main episode here was about this other Lower Decks character that we've never seen before. Like, I could tell when he showed up, I was like, well, he's going to be gone by the end of the episode.
Oh, absolutely. And they hung a lantern on that pretty hard, man.
Yeah, totally. I liked it. It's like we've never seen him before, and then suddenly he's like a main part of the group. I was like,
yep.
Well, he's gone soon.
Yep. He's promoted and gone.
And we're all glad for it.
Mm-hmm. Terrible.
Glad to see him go. Yeah.
Yep.
He was annoying, but I enjoyed the again, it was a good Lower Decks plot where what did he do? He tried to program the thing to think. I don't know. I don't even really remember.
Oh, he put his consciousness into some kind of a situation, some kind of a thing.
That's right. He downloaded his consciousness, which doesn't. I don't understand how that was going to get him out of the problem.
Yeah, that was weird, man.
His plan made no sense, but like somehow because he was such a weird, annoying character, they got away with it.
I thought it was funny that they were all like freaking out over that choo-choo dance crap.
Oh, yeah.
Then she added the third shoe. Oh my God, she's a genius.
Yeah. No, that was great because we talk about it all the time. The fact that like Star Trek is always obsessed with the culture of now or the culture of the last 50 years or whatever. Like the late 20th, 21st century.
Clawing, the franchise has perpetually been clawing desperately to be relevant to us.
Has it? Has it been clawing desperately to be relevant? I don't think that I guess I think that of some Star Trek.
Well, I mean, the original series, they go back in time. They're going back in time to the 60s.
Right.
You know, I mean, part of that is because, hey, they're in the 60s and it's way cheaper. Then of course, you have Seat on the Edge of Forever, but they went back to, what was it, like the 30s? And all they did was use the Andy Griffith sets, the Mayberry sets. So, you know, I feel like Tom Paris was obsessed with the 20th century. Like, they're usually just always making references to whatever time we are in.
Yeah.
Star Trek 4, 86.
Right, which is real fun. And you know, again, in 1999, Voyager went back to 1999.
First Contact, remember they went to the 2100s? Remember how...
Yeah, that 2100s where we were living?
Yeah, remember that World War III wasteland that we were hanging out in? Listening to Magic Carpet Ride?
It's not... This isn't even political, but in a...
Sounds like it's gonna be.
In the friggin'... Wait. How many people do they say die in the World War III?
I don't remember.
It's either 500 million or 500,000. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Anyway, we're like coronavirus is like almost like is nearing closer and closer to killing the number of people that like World War III was supposed to in Star Trek. That was supposed to bring us all together to this utopia. So maybe that'll happen. The X Factor is we need the Vulcans.
Right.
We need the Vulcans to show up and give us replicator technology. No, that won't happen.
Look, man, we're not there yet.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're clearly right.
We're not there yet. Nobody's gonna save us.
How can we prove ourselves to the Vulcans? I feel like a real archer right now. Okay, let's let's talk about the next one. What's the other episode we missed that 2 weeks ago or whatever?
Hold on. Before we jump to the next episode, I've got to mention. I love it when this show or any show does Simpsons-esque humor, and I feel like there was a couple of bits. One was the "I advise we fire on them" that I've already mentioned. Mm-hmm. That just feels very Simpsons. There was a bit with Badgie and Tindy where he's like, "Fun fact, I'm going to rip your eyes out." She's like, "That fact wasn't fun."
That's very Simpsons. That fact wasn't fun. That fact wasn't fun.
That's Critic, man.
Yeah, I know. If they'd repeated it in a more exasperated voice, it would have been the Critic, which is pretty similar to Simpsons most of the time. I love that show too.
Yeah, I did too. I loved Badgie trying to get up that mountain or up the stairs. He's like, "Hope you're ready to die. Just as soon as I get up there, gonna kill you." They're like, Tindy goes, "Oh, poor little guy's really having trouble with those stairs. You got this, Badgie."
Yeah, Lower Decks is really pulling it off, and I'm impressed because like we keep mentioning in the same breath as Rick and Morty, but you're right. Like it also is finding its footing in the Simpsons type of humor. There's moments of like Family Guy-ishness. Like there's moments that like sort of fit all kinds of other. It's doing a good job of being that art form, I guess. And I was a little worried that it was just going to be sort of hacky, and it is at times, but. Like yeah. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and the thing I really liked about Tindy like rooting for Badgie and then going like, "Wait, what the hell am I doing?" is because that was totally like they nailed it. That was totally how I was feeling as a viewer. I was just like, "Oh, this poor little guy, look at him. He's struggling." Mm-hmm. Like, Dave, remember he's trying to murder them. Oh yeah.
Oh right, murder. Oh, the murder.
Mm-hmm. Like Bugs Bunny said it, man. Murder her.
I don't know what that is from.
It's Bugs Bunny. I don't know. Like, but he says it like, "Oh goodness." He goes, "Oh, murder her."
Weird Bugs Bunny.
All right, let's talk about much ado about Boimler.
Yeah, man. So what happens in this one?
Mariner tries to impress her best friend from Starfleet Academy, who is now a visiting captain. Boimler is sent to a Starfleet medical ship after a transporter accident puts him out of phase. Oh yeah, that was a fun one. That was a good one. That was pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, I hated the new captain's dick friends.
They didn't bother me because, like, she was being kind of an asshole by being such a shitty officer when she's needed.
Yeah.
But she knows what to do when, the chips are down. And that was I thought that was an important episode for Mariner. Yeah, because she really seems to, like, realize... There's a moment where she, like, seems really down that her friends don't respect her. Or that her friend doesn't respect her. And it was like, oh, okay. She's having a little personal growth moment. She's not there yet. She's not actually trying to embrace the skill that she has, but she's trying. She's trying a little bit, and I liked it.
Yeah, we're once again faced with this concept that they can't just turn down a promotion.
Right.
Like, she's screwing up just because she doesn't want to be promoted.
Oh, well, did she know about the promotion at that point, or was she just being her normal screw-up self? She knew exactly what was happening. Like, her friend calls it out at the end of the episode. It's like, "You've been screwing up this whole time because you knew I was going to offer you a position, blah, blah, blah." Okay.
Or I was going to promote you and blah, 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 whatever.
Right.
So, like, I don't know, like... I feel like it's still ambiguous whether or not they're saying that promotion is mandatory if bestowed upon you. I do want... I don't know. I would like to see Mariner grow as a person. Not just be like, I'm going to stay in the lower decks. Like, don't be a Riker, but for the lower decks.
Yeah, and I also don't, I don't want this show to be Seinfeld, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't want them all not to grow. I want this show to progress. Star Trek makes me want that, I think.
Yeah, of course, if they're really digging into the TNG of it all.
Right. I don't think they seem to be, but I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, everywhere else they do.
But it's also even the Rick and Morty of it all, is also a show that very little changes, really. We learn more about the characters and things actually do happen, but very little actually changes in the formula of the show.
Right.
What'd you think of Boimler's storyline? He's out of phase. He's being sent to the island of freaks.
I really liked that. I liked the ship. I liked how they were all they all started a mutiny. I love that Boimler tattled on them. Yeah,
that was very Boimler. He really pulled a Boimler on that one. But I really enjoyed the character who was aging. Half his body was aging forward and half backwards.
Yeah,
the voice actor killed that. It was really great.
Yeah.
And I felt like the ending was sort of predictable.
Yeah,
but it got me real good when the ladies walked up to him and they were like, "Oh, you're not a freak." And they weren't interested anymore.
Yep, that was great.
That was pretty wonderful.
It's just cosmetic.
And he goes back to the chip. He's like, I need you to put me out of phase for 3 or 4 weeks. That's all I need.
Yep. I feel like, I don't know, I'm so basic, but my favorite part of this whole episode was the dog.
Oh man, the dog. You're right. I couldn't remember which episode that it was in because it was so non-essential to sort of the plot. But man, the dog was good.
Yeah, and Tindy made a dog.
Yeah, Tindy makes a dog. Yeah, that was one of the best parts of this episode for sure.
Has no idea what a dog actually is.
Yeah, and at the end, they're like, no, they don't talk. They don't do that. It's like, oh, then I get why this all is happening. I get why I'm here, or why we had to go to the freak planet.
Yeah,
that was good.
I could have used that dog just throughout the rest of the series.
Me too. I was thinking that could be the new Creed from The Office. If they had a shot of the dog every episode, I would be pretty happy.
Yeah, when that dog walked through, or when the dog walked through and then turned into a cube and just blocked away, I almost pissed.
Yeah. I laughed real hard at that. That was real solid.
That made me so happy. I was sad to see the dog go.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Well, let's dive into the last episode that we haven't talked about yet, which was this week's episode. Well, last week, the most recent episode.
Right.
Veritas. So, what happened in Veritas?
Mariner, Boimler, Tindy, and Rutherford are caught off guard when certain aliens force them to testify about a series of apparently unrelated events. I enjoyed this episode quite a bit. We've got them in the alien prison, and then the alien prison turns out to be a testimony lift, out of freaking Star Trek 6. It looked very much like the Klingon trial scene.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It very much, I think, was intended to be like a Klingon trial. Actually, before I clicked on the episode, I saw an image, and it was in silhouette. I thought that was a Klingon trial.
Mm-hmm. And another reference to that movie, my man Kurtwood Smith doing the voice of the prosecutor here.
Oh yeah,
I
guess I don't know that.
It's from he was Red on the 70s show. Right. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah, for sure.
But he was the Federation president.
Yeah, I remember
in Star Trek 6.
I remember, and now that you say that, I recognize the voice. I didn't catch it while I was watching it, but yeah, totally.
And of course, the twist is that it's not really a trial. They were trying to honor the the bridge crew as heroes. Like, what did you think we were doing? Why were there eels? There were eels. I love the eels thing. Like, yeah. I love when they bring Rutherford over to the eels after Mariner's already been there. And he's like, eels? And they're like, where have you been?
Yeah. That was a wonderful episode. And Tindy's whole thing where she's traveling around with that, like, whatever Black Ops unit.
Yeah.
Like, even though she was, I love when she baits everybody over. They're like, she's the cleaner. We thought she was just supposed to get us out of here.
Mm-hmm. I really love the Black Ops thing, because there's this consistent notion within the 24th century stuff, and I guess in Enterprise as well. But there's this notion that like certain people are trained to do Black Ops shit, and like even though we're like this like conflict free society now, and Star Trek is just also you know evolved and everything, every once in a while they just need like what usually equates to a bunch of jackholes running around in all black being dicks and taking people out. And like usually a member of the bridge crew is part of that. I don't know. I really like that idea. I like that them playing on that. Yeah, man, me too. And you know, they don't. They're a conflict free culture until they need a good action episode, and then there's some sort of cabal that has to be taken down. And like I think the episode before that, the bridge crew were all in their Black Ops gear trying to make a plant grow.
Yeah, no, that was super funny. I forgot about that. That was really good, and that was just a direct teasing. That's like, I feel like this show is going to go in different directions as it grows. I think the original conceit of it being lower decks on a ship, like that felt like a joke that they wrote when they first conceived of the show. You know what I mean? Like when they're like, it's a ship that does less important things, and then they're like, they could do Black Ops to grow a plant. Like that sounds directly in like the mission of the show.
Yes,
which I dug. Oh man. And the whole bridge crew is suspended in light, and they look like they're like suspended, but it turns out when they finally realize what's going on that they just like they can talk. They've just been like standing at attention. Oh man, Rutherford's storyline. Oh, so good. His implant kept glitching out, and he kept forgetting moments.
Yes. That was all
when
fantastic.
He was being attacked by whatever he's being attacked by. Gorn. He's at the Gorn wedding.
The Gorn wedding. I think that was such a random bullshit thing.
He's being attacked by Gorn, and he goes, implant. He starts tapping on the implant, even though that doesn't transport him. It just makes him lose time. So, like, it's just a complete misunderstanding of what's going on.
He's like I don't want to deal with this anymore.
He's treating it like it's Quantum Leap or something. Like, I gotta leap out of this situation.
Well, clearly the implant is more adept at doing things than he is. So he's just like, save me, implant.
That's true.
And then it wakes him up and he's like, still Gorn wedding.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was pretty great.
So how'd you feel about the first role reprisal, man?
I liked it. It was a very small portion of the episode. I was kind of hopeful that when I heard he was coming back, I was kind of expecting an episode, like a Q episode.
Yeah, I'm really glad we got what we did. I didn't want a full episode, I don't think.
I guess I would have liked it. I don't know if they would have made a lot of sense. Well, it would have made as much sense as this did.
Yeah.
Getting Q back just getting Q back. John Delancey actually reprising his role as Q. Yeah. That's a dream, you know?
I love that bit at the end where he's like, I challenge you all to a duel. Pick your weapons. I pick the mind. She She's like, get out of here, Q. We're done with this random stuff today. We're not dealing with any of your Q bullshit. Oh, s'il vous plaît, Mariner. I want to put humanity to the ultimate test. I'm not French. Go find Picard. Oh, Picard, he's no fun. Always quoting Shakespeare. He's always making wine.
So silly. Yeah. I would like him. I would like more Q. I mean, it's like anything else. I love that we're getting it at all, but I do like. I would like some actual episodes where these people come back and like have a reason to be there and have a storyline instead of just pop-ins. But I'll take what I can get.
I thought it was really funny that they were so in both of his appearances on this episode, they were just very, very
dismissive.
Well, they were dismissive, and that's fine. But I just thought it was that they were determined to keep him in that Encounter at Farpoint judge's outfit and throne. Like he was just like, floating around in that throne, and most of the time he was not in that. He was always wearing a Starfleet uniform or
whatever else he wanted to wear.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny that they would, pick the judge's robes and have him just fly around in it like that was his like normal costume.
It felt like something that I want a toy of. Like I want a lower decks Q in a floating chair. Like use some magnets and make me that toy, somebody.
Yep.
It's pretty great. Well, yeah, I feel like I like the show. I really do. Mm-hmm. I do feel like, especially this week, because I kind of watched these three all together. It's starting to feel a little formulaic to where when something's happening, I'm starting to kind of be able to see where it's going.
Yeah.
Which, lots of shows are. Not really necessarily I mean, TNG is for like most Star Trek is. But yeah, I don't know. I get that takes away a little bit for me. But I'm still having a great time, still laughing hard. Most of the stuff that really gets me though is the random stuff, or the uber violent stuff.
Yeah.
Something really violent happened. I'm trying to remember what it was on one of these episodes. Something other than Badgie, who was just threatening violence the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, Tendi and Tendi was fighting Romulans.
Yeah.
Took out a whole bunch of them violently.
Yeah, I thought it was something else. Anyway, I don't remember. I thought somebody like lost their head or something.
I mean, maybe. I don't remember.
Okay.
The Gorn were eating Rutherford.
That is true. The Gorn were eating Rutherford.
At the Gorn wedding.
I want the dog back. I want the dog back.
I do too, man. I do too.
Maybe we'll get him back. Maybe he'll come back in a Starfleet uniform.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. Well, any other points on those three episodes you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Another thing that's happened since last we met were the Star Trek Day. Was there anything at all in Star Trek Day that you found interesting or new? Or I know you followed it a little closer than I did.
I mean, I put together a news episode, but we didn't do it. So.
Oh. Well, I didn't know you had one ready. I would have hopped on.
You were out of town, evidently.
I would have tried to hop on. I brought a headset with me that if I really needed to do a cast, I could plug in my headset to my phone and try to record to my phone and let someone else edit. But it ended up, I tried to do it once with one thing and I couldn't get the tech to work. So I don't know. Maybe I might have been able to do it on my iPad though. I didn't try that.
It's all right.
We had a WandaVision trailer drop for MCU Cast. We wanted to do a big one on that, but I was out of town, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look for that file.
Yeah, man.
I don't have it with me right now.
Well, it's okay. We'll maybe do it. That'll pair nicely with next week's episode of Lower Decks, which should be out tonight. Or Wednesday night.
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday night, right. Wednesday night, Thursday morning, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, man.
Hey, thanks. And thank you for the Kevin Conroy cameo.
Oh, yeah.
That was quite a lot of fun.
I got on Cameo, and I got on the Cameo app to be like, this is dumb. Who would ever do this? I don't care about celebrities. And then the third line as I was scrolling was Kevin Conroy, and I was like, well, I have to do this. There's like no choice. That's the best birthday present. And I immediately got Kevin Conroy to say happy birthday to you. And then I immediately remembered that your birthday was 10 months away or 8 months or whatever. I was like, dang it. So just been sitting on it like, what? That was good. Yeah. If you guys want to hear what we're talking about, I got him a cameo, and we play it on the new episode of DC on Screen. Yeah. I surprised him with it on DC on Screen, which was fun because it was a DC guy, and I felt like that was appropriate.
Yep. Kevin Conroy was the voice of Batman and still is in many capacities.
Yeah. Is he doing any more right now? I thought he hadn't done anything since.
I don't know.
The Killing Joke? Was that the last thing?
I feel like every time I say, he hasn't done one in a while, a new thing comes out where he's Batman again. So
yeah, Kevin Conroy is my Batman.
Yeah, he's been Batman off and on since 91.
Wow. Man. And you think about it, like him going up against Hamill, kind of like Hamill's he's a big name. He probably a smaller name at the time. Not that Star Wars wasn't big, but it hadn't had its sort of revitalization. But Mark Hamill, like being opposite Mark Hamill, it feels like it's not a foregone conclusion that he would be able to punch it in that weight class, I guess. I don't know. But then but maybe not. Maybe Mark Hamill was the guy who's sort of new to voices, but I don't know. Was he? I don't know anything about it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he had done before that, really. I know he was worried that he wouldn't get the job because they were like, no, we're not going to let Luke Skywalker come in and try to be the Joker. Right. But, on the show, the first 6 episodes with Joker, I think they said was Tim Curry playing the Joker. Really? And he wasn't working out, and they decided to recast and brought in Mark Hamill.
So the actual ones that aired were Tim Curry? Oh, okay.
No, they redubbed him.
Wow, I would love to hear that.
Me too.
Someone needs to release that. Release the Tim Curry cut.
Right? Yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah, man. Sounds awesome. Love Tim Curry. All right. Well, I guess we're done. We done with this podcast? Is that all?
Yeah. I've given up.
Good. I like it.
You know why?
Why is that?
I never get to clean the conference room. Oh my gosh, I did love there's like I don't know how to nerf pitch. Ha! Tell that to Spock and Spock.
That would seem again. Okay, wait. I actually was curious about that line. Was she just calling 2 Vulcans Spocks?
Shax, the security guy, was just being racist.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
He was calling 2 Vulcans Spock and Spock.
Okay, that's how I took it. But I was like, surely not. Surely that's not what's happening. He's not just being racist. But yep, I was like, is this supposed to be some sort of time travel joke about the 2009 Star Trek movie when Spock met Spock? I'm a little confused. Like, I think I took it too deep. That racist old security guard.
I'm enjoying his character more and more. They're really doing the Mr. Worf thing here. It's just they're playing him for an idiot who just wants to blast things. Yeah, they are.
I like these Bajoran. That's kind of fun.
Oh yeah, and it makes sense. The Bajoran resistance and stuff.
Yeah, totally does. Totally makes sense for his character to be from there, and like that's the timeline lines up, all that stuff. I think that's really cool. All right, well, I guess we'll talk to you guys in a couple days. Hopefully we can grab that new episode of Lower Decks earlier this week because I'm back in town, baby. Although this week is crazy, man. I got so much going on. We got freaking wedding. Well, here's the problem. So September, Like, okay, we're done talking about Star Trek. Probably, who knows? Our conversations drift back there naturally. So, if you feel like leaving, we're probably done with Star Trek.
Maybe.
But if you just want to stick around
promises.
because you love us and want to know what's going on in our lives, that's what we're about to do. And we don't talk if it's not being recorded.
That's right. We don't live like animals anymore.
Don't live like animals. So September, I looked at my schedule for September and October. In September, I got 2 video gigs, like big dollar video gigs. I didn't get any music gigs except for a couple clubs that were very small, small money wise. So I got these 2 big video gigs, which are a lot of work, but they actually paid well. And I was like, great. September, I will just do my video work. And then October, I've got 4 weddings, actually 5 weddings now. So I'll get my video work done, and then wedding season will start back up, and I'll devote myself to that. And then one of the videos got delayed, and the other one was already late in the month. So basically, both all the editing, which is what I do for the video company, all of the editing got pushed to October. Mm-hmm. So now I've got all this video editing, and I've got 5 weddings to plan to do the music for and like prepare for, which is a ton of work. And then on top of that, I took a vacation that like got all my podcast stuff out of whack. So I'm like back and trying to like reorient everything, including what we're doing right now, which was catch up on Lower Decks. But
yep.
Crazy. And I've got Marvel's Avengers on PS4 that I can't stop playing, and that's a problem.
That is a problem.
Also, the debates tonight, the first Biden-Trump debate. And I have to watch that train wreck. It's really what it is.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I hear that. I think that's probably wise. But I have to know what's up. I have to know.
Yeah, I think you know what's up. We all know what's up.
Yeah. Indeed. All right. You guys have a good one. Jolan True.
Live long. Live prosper.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.